Hey, Kim here with Alpine Roots Wellness. Today I'm going to talk to you about grains. Grains are one of the most controversial topics in the nutrition world, if not the most controversial. With the paleo diet being so common, this diet tends to eliminate grains entirely, as well as gluten. So what it comes down to is bioindividuality, mostly. Bioindividuality means that one person can eat one type of food and it may be someone else's poison to their body. Not everyone is going to tolerate the same types of food, and this is so important to know your body and to know what your body thrives on and what it does not thrive on. So bioindividuality is one of the main factors of whether you can tolerate grains or not. And there are 4 types of grains. The first grain is whole grains, second is refined grains, the third is enriched grains, and the fourth is multigrains. So let's start with whole grains. So whole grains encompass pretty much all natural type of grains. This can range from brown rice, barley, whole wheat, rye, quinoa, teff, things like that. So whole grains come in their whole form. Every part of the grain is intact, and there's 3 parts to a whole grain. There's the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. So the bran is the outermost layer of the grain, and it contains a lot of vitamins and minerals and fiber and B vitamins that are essential to your health. The germ is the inside layer of the grain seed, and this also contains essential oils that are necessary for you, other vitamins, minerals, and different antioxidants. And then the third layer is the endosperm. And the endosperm is the most interior part of the grain. That is the most starchiest part, and it consists of the carbohydrates and protein part of it. So naturally, whole grains are best for you. And once again, it does come down to bioindividuality. A lot of people can't tolerate grains in general. A lot of people can't tolerate the gluten in grains, so a lot of them have to go gluten-free. And gluten-free grains include things like millet, quinoa, amaranth, buckwheat, sorghum, things like that, sweet potato flour, things like that. Okay, and the second one is refined grains. And refined grains are typically things like white bread, white flours, white rice, pastries, baked goods, pasta, things like that. And refined grains go through the modification process, the refining process, where they actually remove the bran and the germ, and just the endosperm is left. So there's not many nutrients left in refined grains. And when you eat refined grains, this tends to spike your blood sugar, and this is where that late afternoon brain fog tends to come in, the fatigue, the joint pain. People who can't tolerate grains tend to have things like the joint pain and more intense feelings of just not feeling well, something's not right. But refined grains do tend to cause that spike in blood sugar and lead to kind of a crash later on in the day. So refined grains, along with the spike in blood sugar, they also lead to things like chronic diseases like obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure. So it's good to stay away from the refined grains as much as you can and opt for the whole grains. So this is where we're going to number 3, which are enriched grains. So enriched grains you might see on bread products where they say enriched with B vitamins, or enriched with iron, fortified with iron, things like that. So enriched grains are still refined grains where they go through that process and remove the good nutrients. However, they go backwards, and once refined, they try and add the good nutrients back in. But ultimately, they're still refined grains. So really, would you rather be eating whole grains, or would you rather be eating refined or enriched grains? You tell me. I think I'd rather be eating whole grains. Number 4 are multigrains. It's just as it sounds. Multigrains are just multiple grains mixed together, and a lot of products tend to claim like whole wheat, or you know, this bread is whole grain, where they tend to try and advertise that mostly the loaf of bread is all whole grain, where it's really not. A lot of times multigrain breads contain just a wee little bit of whole grains, but they tend to advertise that, oh, this is a whole grain product. So I wouldn't completely trust multigrain breads and things like that, just because you don't know how much whole grains are actually in it. Most of it could be refined grains, which is also going to cause that spike in blood sugar and make you crash later in the day. So obviously whole grain seems like the best option here. Your blood sugar will stay more consistent, you'll have more consistent energy throughout the day. Whole grains are a big portion for like endurance athletes. Those types of people really tend to thrive on grains, especially for breakfast. And you know, you can also, instead of having like oats for like breakfast, you can always alternate and, you know, opt for like maybe some cooked millet or some cooked quinoa for breakfast, and kind of switch up your oatmeal routine. And so again, it does come down to that bio individuality. You know, some grains work for some people, some work for others, and a lot of people tend to, you know, kind of panic when it comes to grains because they don't know what to eat. So kind of just stay aware of what you're ordering and try and opt for the whole grain option if you eat grains to begin with. A lot of people, like I said, can't tolerate grains, especially people who have digestive issues. A lot of them tend to go gluten-free, or they tend to eliminate grains entirely just because it makes their digestion a lot better. And if you liked this video or learned anything from it, which I hope you learned at least a little bit, please give me a thumbs up, like it, click subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that. And thanks. I'll see you next time.